There's no time like the present, but presently my time is up on the deadline that I set for myself to turn $2,000 into $10,000 so that I could accomplish my goal of playing on a poker live stream this summer. I want to go from playing here to playing there, but in order for that to happen, our bankroll needs to say $10,000. Currently, it only says $4,928. Not bad from where we started, but still a ways off. This is the 2K to 10K Bankroll Challenge, episode number 5. We've been gone for a few weeks, so we're going to take this episode week by week. Week 1 is going to start off with a hyper turbo tournament. The blinds are going up every 20 minutes. It's a $180 buy-in. You got to play good and run good to go deep in these. 49 people enter, only 6 of which are getting paid, but we find ourselves with 7 players remaining on the final table and with ace-10 of diamonds under the gun. If you're playing all in or fold, we have about 13 big blinds. This is a clear shove. Even if you play a mixed strategy here, Solver still prefers to put it in, so that's what we do. It folds around to the big blind, who's going to call with pocket jacks. Kind of an unreasonably good hand to wake up with in the big, but we're still very alive. Let's go to a run out. The flop is all red cards, which looks good for us, but unfortunately, we're going to brick out when the hearts come in on the backdoor side. It always hurts to be the bubble boy. Our bankroll takes a slight hit, but that's not the only poker we played this week. We find ourselves later in the cash game streets playing 2, 5, 10, 6-handed. We're in the cutoff with 9, 8 of diamonds. We raise it up to $30. The button calls, and the small blind 3 bets up to 120. We're in position, decide to peel. We're fairly deep. So we go heads up to this flop with 280 in the middle, which is pretty good for us. It's 7, 4, 10 with 2 diamonds. We flop the open ender and the flush draw, but the small blind decides to jam it all in. This is a massive all-in for over 2x the pot, but we have solid equity. You can see the solver here, pure calls, so we stick it in. The turn is the 9 of clubs. We pick up a pair, but it's not going to be good enough as we lose to pocket kings. Kind of a strange play from him. It's a pretty massive pot to lose. You can see we get in as a coin flip, technically a slight favorite, but that's just kind of how the week went. Another hand with kind of a fun, crazy player. We get it in when he shoves blind with king 7 offsuit. We call with king 9 suited, and I bet you can guess what card came on the flop. In another scenario, we 3-bet pocket 10s from the small blind and get shoved on, again from another very fun player. We call it off. He has king 7 suited, and I bet you guys could guess the turn card. So just a very frustrating week, losing a lot of big pots when we get it in as favorites. Our bankroll is shot all the way down to $2,650, still up from where we began, but obviously taking a very big hit. So after that very frustrating week, I decide I need a little bit of a break from poker, and that coincides very well with a weekend trip I can take with my family down the coast, see some beautiful scenes on the way down, and some even more beautiful ones when we get there. This is the beach we stayed at in North Carolina. This is just a gorgeous place to kind of unwind and take a little bit of a mental reset. After about 5 or 6 days, no poker on the way back up, we see exit 40 East to Atlantic City and decided it was time for me to get back on the horse. We do have a goal to achieve after all, and even though we've hit a little bit of a bump in the road, doesn't mean we can't rebound. For week 2, I turned my attention to the online streets where I played a lot of multi-table tournaments, something I really enjoyed doing. If you want a more in-depth breakdown at how some of the hands or tournaments went down, I put up a video on my channel. You can go check that one out. Give it a like. While you're at it, like this one, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. But we did fairly well in the week that we focused on the online games. We ran fairly deep. You could see some bounties accumulated here as well. Let's take a look at some of the hands that got us there.
Aces. This guy is shoved. We are calling. Would like someone to rebang it. King 9 suited on the button. It'll be folding because a nit raises under the gun. Oh wow. We're going to rebang it. Oh my god. Wow. I trapped so well. What happens? Ace, queen, nines, ace, queen. Okay. No queen, no 9, right? How about a 7? A 3. Oh my god, we trapped crazy. 2 knockouts. Oh my god, 200 bigs. Wow, 31-25 and back. Jesus. Wow, 31-25. Oh my god. And then we have infinite big blinds. Wow. Alright, here we deal with 10-10. We will probably be running it. Gotta eat short as a Caesar. And ace A, ace ace, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna be all in here. Just hoping this guy doesn't wake up with it. He's all in for less, that's probably actually very strong. But we're still all in on the overlay. Awesome, okay. He's gonna take his whole time bank, which is a little annoying, but... Okay, 8s and ace 10, wow. Keep it low, dealer. 3 ball. Okay, I would like a green card on the river. That's a green card. Come on! Let's go. 2 bounties as well. Oh my goodness, 48, 31 in bounties. And the pay jump. Wow, that's pretty good. Wow, that's pretty good.
Overall, we bought in for $1,661, cashed out for $2,768. That is a profit of $1,107, which drives our bankroll back up in the right direction. Obviously still far away from 10K, but only thing we can do is keep trying to play our best and keep that number going in the right direction. It's pretty clear we're never going to reach 10K in time by grinding out small cash game victories, so I decided to take a shot at Mohegan Sun's summer kickoff poker tournament. There's $50,000 guaranteed. It's only a $400 buy-in, so nothing too crazy. Pretty good prize pool, and you could see that up top is over $31,000. When the prize pool ultimately gets posted, we need to make top 7 in order to reach the 10K goal. Obviously that's ambitious. So as we pull in, I'm just thinking about trying to calm my mind, get locked in the zone, and play my best poker. Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm at Mohegan Sun playing their summer kickoff series tournament. Got the nose strip on, feel like Chance Corneth. I can breathe, getting some good oxygen to the brain. Here with this guy. Him and I are gonna final table this tournament. So we'll see you on the other side. Alright, pause the video right now. Go have your fun. Roast me down in the comments about the nose strip. I've already heard a lot about it. And while you're down there, why don't you go ahead, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Really helps me out. I appreciate you guys a lot. We get a rather strong looking breakfast to start the day before it's time to head on down to the poker room. I've always really liked the room here at Mohegan Sun, and just the casino overall. It has a really good atmosphere. There's a lot of people here, and just the people all around seem to be really nice, as you'll see right here.
Hey, I'd like to register the tournament, please.
You got it. How are you?
Doing well, how are you?
Not bad.
So we sit down with our $30,000 starting stack. There's 467 runners in this event, over 2 day 1 flights. 57 of us will be paid. Let's lock in. Good luck us. So on break 1 of the tournament, kind of got into an unreasonable little hand. I opened pocket 10s under the gun, playing 100, 200. I opened a 400. Middle position calls, as does the button and the small blind. Flop is Queen 10-9 monochrome, all diamonds. I have 10 of hearts, 10 of clubs. 1900 actually in the middle. I decided to go for a small bet, a little bit too small maybe. I go for 500 into about 1900. Folds to the button, who raises to 1500. I just call. Don't think there's a lot of merit in 3-betting the monochrome board, so I'm sticking the call. Heads up to a turn with 4900 in the middle, which is the queen of spades, so we make a full house. The turn goes check, check, and the river is the deuce of spades. I decide to go for an over bet. I bet 5,000 into 4,900. He tanks and clicks it up to 17,000 on top, so 22,000. So 17 to call to win a lot. I'm not quite sure the exact number. When I did the pot odds, I believe it's around 32% or something. Thinking about combos he has. If he has Queen 10 off, which is a little loose from him, but if he does, that's 2 combos left. So that's 2 combos that beat me. There's 2 straight flush combos on board as well. And obviously we're beating 3 combos of 9s full that he could play like this for value. So beating 3 combos, losing to 4, beating more if he ever does this with like a nut flush or something. So I side, put in the call. He showed me Queen of clubs, 10 of spades. So lost about half our stack there. But yeah, trying to get a, trying to keep grinding it up. I'm feeling great, but what can we do? Kind of unreasonable.
Is this reasonable? Does this happen to anyone else?
But John's gonna spin a roulette wheel, and we'll get after it. So as mentioned, our friend John takes $100 to spin on a roulette wheel during the break. According to him, he's trying to get his run bat out, so he's put $100 total down. You can see up here, these are the numbers he's chosen, mostly on black. Black 24 would be ideal, shout out to Kobe, but a little rebate on red 19 if it does come red. I've never spun a roulette wheel before, don't really have a desire to. Again, sorry for the shaky video skills, was kind of worried the pit boss might not want me to be videoing, but we'll play on. And good luck to John as the ball's in the air. I'll let this one play out so you guys can see.
Black 24.
How'd you actually think it? Oh my god.
That's why you leave immediately. That's it.
Jesus Christ.
That's
So how much is this? Again, I'm not too familiar with roulette, but I asked ChatGPT and it told me that it would pay out $580. That sounds about right. So pretty nice profit for John there. He gets his entire tournament buy-in back and a little bit more, so he's basically free rolling. We are not, still a lot of work to do, so let's get back to it. Alright, so on the second break, we are on our second bullet of the tournament. We 3-bet squeezed Queen Jack of Hearts from the button from a hijack open, cut off call. We squeezed Queen Jack of Hearts, small blind cold calls. Flop King of Hearts, 10 of Hearts, 5 of clubs, so up and down straight flush draw. I'm never folding. So we got it all in. I lost to King Queen, who cold called out of the small blind. That player's not the best. He's also out of the tournament now. And then the only other big spot, we rebought, we chipped down a little bit, and we got into this pretty big hand. We have Queen of Hearts, Queen of Clubs on the button. We are playing 800 blind level, so low jack makes it 16. I make it 4,000. He 4-bets to 11,200. I call with about pot left behind. Flop is 8-7 deuce, all diamonds. We have queens with no diamond. He continues small for I think 7,000 or something. I call. Turn is a repeat 8 of clubs. He now checks. I have about a third pot. Are there times where I'm getting trapped by aces and kings with a diamond or something, or ace king of diamonds? Sure, but I think ace king, ace king with a diamond. I need to get my money in now. If I check back and the river is an overcard or a diamond, I hate my life, so I ship it in. He tank folds, so we'll take that. Coming back to, I think, 1,200 more than starting, so not bad. We'll take it. Got to eat some lunch quick and then get back into it. We found a little bit more success on our second bullet. We've been playing well and staying patient, but the blinds come up pretty quickly in these kinds of structures, so you have to get involved. And we find a pretty good spot with pocket aces here in the cutoff. There's an under the gun open on the larger side to about 3x and a middle position call. I have about 21 big blinds in my stack at this level. Again, blinds are going up pretty fast. I debated just clicking it to a non-all-in 3-bet size, but the under the gun and middle position players are both fairly deep stacked, and typically in these kind of structures, when people have a lot of chips, they're willing to get it in a little bit wider than normal. So I decide to stick it in. The initial raiser folds and is back on the middle position player, who thinks for a little bit, not too long, and he calls it off with king queen suited, off to a run out.
We all aces.
He makes a pair on the river, which is a little bit tough to see. I know my videoing skills need some work, but we get the hold and the more than full double up with aces, back up to around 45 big blinds and cruising. Unfortunately, the rest of the 1,000, 2,000 blind level didn't go our way. We had a bunch of raise folds off of some middling stacks, 3-bet shoves, and kind of got into a little bit of a cooler when we jammed ace 10 suited blind v blind, and the big blind woke up to pocket 10s, so we doubled the shorty. Our stack is now down to about 60,000, which is the equivalent of around 20 big blinds. The blinds are coming around fast, and we're gonna need to find some spots. Alright, on our third break of the night, coming back to a little under 12 big blinds in the 1,500 3K level. There's 81 players left, 29 bag for day 2. So obviously gonna have to spin, waiting for spots. Not really any big spots in the last level. I got to squeeze ace 10 suited from the small blind over raising a couple limps, but don't really have a ton of fold equity right now, so kind of just put it in, hope for the best, hope to get a double, and then we will we'll see how it goes. We chip down for a little bit, and we need to find some spots to put our stack in and either double up or take down the blinds, and we think we found it when we peel pocket 7s in the small blind. There's an under the gun open and a button flat. You could see here's what the solver is doing with range. Pocket 7s is fairly cuspy, but it is pure shoved in this spot, which is what we find. We stick all our chips in slightly less than 20 big blinds. Now the under the gun player is going to tank for a long while before he finally puts the chips in. The button snap folds. We're heads up, off to a run out against ace queen suited. Gotta win your flips. Good luck, Gus. 7s, ace queen. Dirty. So dirty.
Oh, I thought it was
So dirty. Robbie, you do it dirty, man.
He's breaking hearts.
Nobody can say you're not doing it dirty. Alright, lost a flip with 7s to ace queen for maybe almost 40 bigs, actually. So it would have been a nice one to have. Fortunately not to be. Busted in 65th, 29, move on to day 2 in bag, so not meant to be. Got mushed by the woman who was next to me when I got it in. She said, "Oh, you're ahead." And then the flop came out. She said, "Oh, that's a clean flop." So, of course, they're getting there on the turn every time. Unlucky. What are you going to do? Obviously, you have to win your flips, especially when you get so short. So, probably going to sit down for some cash. See how it goes.
So our bankroll goes from 37.57 down below the 3K mark for the first time in a couple episodes. So obviously not really where we want to be, but there is still time for us to jump into the 2-5 cash game streets, play a little 1-2 while we're waiting before we get moved to the 2-5 must move. We're in for $500. Seems fairly reggy, so hopefully we can find some run good. Honestly guys, this 2-5 session, not a ton of strategy or interesting hands to break down, just a little bit of some run good while I was waiting for my friend to finish up day 1 of the tournament so we can go get dinner. I was running pretty crazy in 2-5. I flopped the king high flush and got check raised on the flop and double barreled into on the turn and river, one of my first hands. Then I was moved to a different table where my image was that I was a young kid who was bluffing a lot, so I used a couple overbets when I turned a full house with queen jack and when I turned a set with pocket fours to get paid the maximum. I also flopped 2 pair with queen 10 of diamonds and got 2 pretty decent sized streets of value before overbet jamming the river. He unfortunately tank folds, so we ran our stack up from 500 all the way to 1375. That's a profit of $875, getting us unstuck for the day, letting us leave with a small profit. It's a long day of poker.
How's it going?
Let's rack up and get some food.
JMU Poker on the vlog.
Alright, outro attempt number 4. We dusted 2 tournament buy-ins for $410 each. That is a negative total of $820. But then we jumped into 2-5 cash, played for a couple hours, bought in for $500, cashed out for $1375. It's a profit of $875, which means that net on the day we're up $55. I made $6.11 an hour today. So pretty terrible.
No, I'm not. Thank you. These are vlogs.
Oh, we got these guys. So, made some money today. Not bad. Got some pizza after, which was delicious. Saw some good people. So, yeah, we'll take it. See you guys in the next one. So, we recovered just a little bit of our losses. Still down from where we were at last episode and still quite a ways away from $10,000. It's looking pretty grim, but there's a sliver of hope with one more session to play. Our friend bagged a stack and made day 2 of the Summer Series kickoff. What, am I not going to drive back up with him and sweat it out? So we go back out. Credit to him. He did really well. Finished in 17th out of over 450 entrants. So absolutely crushed it. But when he busts, we head over and grab some lunch before we jump into the cash streets to play some 2-5. Hoping for the same kind of run good that we had on day 1 of the tournament. Good luck us. Alright, just wrapped up a nice little 2-5 session. Was in for 700, out for... I'll go through the hands, tell a little horse. Very fun table, very nice guys. They're never going to see this, but if your name is Jamie or Dave and you're watching this, you're great guys. Thanks for chatting with me. So we sit down and it's actually a very fun table, kind of, you know, cool dynamics, some kind of loose passive players kind of limping and calling, but there is like some few 3-bets, fairly aggressive table. We ran a couple bluffs. It was kind of funny. I was really kind of running well and making some good hands and using some big bet sizes, so oftentimes when you're a young player, people think you're very aggressive, so I was using a lot of big sizes, kind of playing into that image. I got paid off fairly well in this hand because of the image. There's a couple limps. I opened the button to 25 with queen 9 of diamonds. The big blind calls and a limper calls. So 3 ways to the flop, which comes out queen 9 deuce. So we made top 2 pair with a 1 diamond as well. So backdoor diamond draw. checks to me. I continue for a third on this board, like I will do with a lot of my range that I'm not just checking back. Go over 25 and a 75. Big blind calls. We go heads up to the turn, about 150 in the middle, which is a black deuce. So the board is queen 9 deuce deuce. Checks to me. I actually decide to slow down a bit and check it back. Just exercise some pot control. So we go heads up to the river, which is a king of diamonds. So I don't know how many king X combos she's gonna have when she checks the river for a third time. I decided to go for some thin value here. Actually sized up a little bit. So the pot is around 150. I went for 85. She thought for a while, and eventually stuck in the call with queen 8. So definitely just going for the bluff catch there. Don't blame her with my kind of image of the table. So scoop a pretty nice one there. Yeah, keeping the momentum going. So this next time we get involved with Jamie, the super pro, very nice guy, very good player. He was on the button when I was in the big blind. He was opening almost all of my big blinds. So he opens again on the button to $15. I defend with ace of spades, 3 of spades. Could mix it, but decided just to flat here. Go heads up to the flop, which is queen jack 3 rainbow with the jack of spades. So we have bottom pair in the back door spade draw. He checks it. I check it over to him. He actually decides to check it back. So I was probably planning on peeling one with the backdoor draw and bottom pair. But we get to see a turn for free, which is very nice. It is the 3 of hearts. So we make trips. I check it in flow one more time, hoping to go bluff catch, bluff catch. Actually, bluff catch probably check raise the river on some bricks. He goes for a fairly large size. He goes for 20 into 30. I decide to stick in the call. Pot's around $70. And the river is another queen. So not really great for us. Board is queen, jack 3, 3 queen. We have ace 3 of spades. So not the best. I check it to him. He decides to bet fairly large. He goes for 70 into a 75 into a pot of 70. And I don't know. I just thought in game that he probably wouldn't play a lot of top pairs as checks. You know, a lot of his checks come from hands like queen queen, right? Top set that blocks a lot of my top pair combos. But since there's 2 queens on the board, I think quads is pretty unlikely, and it's tough for him to have a 3 as well. So I just didn't give him credit for checking back a queen, so I decided to call. It turns out he didn't check back a queen, but he checked back pocket jacks. So I don't actually know if I love his slow play. He might actually get more money out of me if he just bets all 3 streets. Maybe not on the river, but he would get more on the turn. I actually might even check raise. We might even get it in on the turn, actually. But played a little weird, both of us. Kind of lost the min there, but we'll move on to the next hand. Our next hand, we have pocket kings, finally. On the button, there's like 4 limpers or so up to me. I decide to raise it up to $30. I get the under the gun limper to call, go heads up to a flop with about 75 in the middle, which is ace deuce deuce, you know, the one card you don't want to see when you have kings. But I still think when she checks to me, I can go for a bet. So I decide on a 1/3 size bet, I decide to go for 25 into 75. She calls, hoping to see 2 cards and 2 cards only on the turn, and one of them peels off, and it is the king of diamonds. So we make a full house, very disguised, very nice card. She checks it over to me. I decided to actually check it back, give her a chance to bluff if she has like a flush draw or something, maybe catch up. Or if she has like a weak ace that she decided to limp call and not just raise, probably not going to get 3 streets either. So I decided to check it back. The river is a blank 6 of spades, and she now leads. The pot here is about 125. She goes for 75 into it. I click it back to around 225. She thinks about it for a while and actually folds an ace face up. So good fold for her. And yeah, scooping another pot. This next one is one of the more fun hands I've played tonight, and maybe ever. I'm in the I'm on the button with ace of diamonds, 4 of diamonds. There are 4 limpers to me. I ISO up to 35. The big blind calls, 2 of the limpers call, and when it's back on the initial limper in the low jack, he decides to limp re-raise up to 225. This is my friend Jamie from the previous hand, very nice guy. I think good enough player to be able to make some big folds, so let's put him to the test. I have about a little less than 800 in my stack. I think for a bit until the dealer I'm all in. Get a bunch of snap folds. It's back on Jamie. He's tanking for a bit. My heart's in my stomach. You know, trying not to breathe super heavy. After a while, he does a little hand funeral and folds what I assume is a hand like 10s, jacks. If I can get him to fold queens, that's great as well. But he lets it go. We'll take it down. Biggest bluff I've ever run in my life. $800 bluff he covered by a wide margin, so not too bad.
Sorry to interrupt, but if you guys haven't already liked this video and subscribed to the channel, then I'm not quite sure what else I have to do. I'm out here 4-bet bluff shoving with ace 4 suited for piles. I mean, that's essentially 3 1-2 buy-ins. So if you guys haven't already, like the video, subscribe, it helps me out a lot, and comment down below what's the biggest bluff you've ever pulled. Really interested to hear that one. Thank you guys for your continued support. We'll get back to the hands.
All right, this next hand, very interesting one, last interesting one of the night. I have pocket 4s, 4 of hearts, 4 of clubs in the cutoff. There's a middle position limp. The hijack player makes it $15. I call, the button calls, both blinds call, as does the limper. We're going infinite ways to this flop with $90 in the middle, which comes out not great for pocket 4s. It's queen of spades, 5 of spades, 10 of clubs. Checks to me. I decide to check as well, planning on just check folding. However, the button checks it back. So we get a free turn card. The initial raiser calls out for the 10 of diamonds, but it's an even better looking card. It is the 4 of diamonds. We make bottom set. It checks to me again. I decide to kind of lean into my image, being kind of loose, aggressive, young kid who's a little bit crazy. I go for 75 into 90, just trying to bet big a lot here with my bluffs and with my value as well. We get one caller from the big blind. Everyone else folds. And the river is not really what I want to see. The pot's around $250. The river comes out, $240 I should say. River comes out the jack of spades. So hands like ace king or 8-9 get there, as well as the front door flush comes in. I don't think straight combos are really too prevalent. I'm actually considering checking this back if she checks to me or going for thin value, but we don't get the chance when she donks for 110 into 240. It's really just a gross spot. I'd seen her bluff before, so it's not like she's this old woman coffee who never bluffs, but it's just the line seems pretty strong when the front door comes in. It's not small enough for me to think this is a block bet. Just kind of looks like a milky value bet. I think for a while before finally putting on my big boy pants, making the fold. She told me that she had 8-9 of spades for the rivered flush. So happy with my fold there. I believe her. She showed me cards, so she's a nice woman. So I can sleep well tonight knowing I make a good fold. And yeah, pretty good session and pretty good week at Mohegan Sun. This guy cashed in the tournament. Congrats to him. He'll be on Hendon Mob with a slightly smaller resume than mine. But it's all good. All right, guys. We'll see you in the next one.
As we go to rack up and slide our chip racks to the cashier, we actually forgot $200 in my bag. A little bit of a duh moment on my part, but we're in for $700, out for $1335. That's a profit of $635. Brings the bankroll back up to $4,427, about $500 less than what we started this episode with. So obviously not ideal. You can see this bankroll, obviously $44.27 is not the same as $10K. We netted a profit in the series of $2,427. Obviously our goal was $8,000, so a ways off it, but still in the positive. Overall, was this series a success? Absolutely not. We didn't get anywhere near our goal, and I feel pretty disappointed. Mostly because I don't know if I played my best poker. We didn't run the best that we could have, but even if we did, I need to put myself in slightly better spots. But trying to use this as motivation, because next summer I'm going to try my absolute hardest to make sure you guys can watch me on a live stream. Somewhere, somehow, we're going to try and do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate your support, and good luck at the tables.
The Krusty Krab pizza is the pizza absolutely. Pizza, 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 pizza. Krusty Krab!